Let's go! The Switch 2 finally came in. I just got out of work and here I am now with the Nintendo Switch 2 Mario Kart Edition. So this one comes with the bundle for Mario Kart as a digital code, and I haven't really seen the Nintendo Switch 2 anywhere else except on other people's videos, especially when they experienced it in New York or in some other places when Nintendo was showcasing it. So I have no idea what to expect. Only a couple of things that I know were like, if you mod the software on the Nintendo Switch 2, then it'll brick it. And then I do know about the new quirk to it, which is like mouse mode. So let's unbox it. Okay, so here it is. Wow. Looks like a small box. Let's actually bring the other Switch. Here's the Switch Lite. Where is the Nintendo Switch OLED? Here's the unboxing experience. Switch 2. Start here. Wow, that's a lot of text. Pretty simple. Controllers, 7. Here's the HDMI cable, the Joy-Con. Here's the grip. Pretty cool. Oh, there's no buttons on the back. Kind of lame, but it is what it is. Nintendo. This. Wow. This dock looks pretty big compared to the other one. I wonder if this just pops. Oh, yep, it just pops right off. And then there is the power adapter, HDMI, and internet. Let's start with the tablet. Whoa, this tablet's huge. This tablet compared to this tablet. See the size difference? Oh my god, it's huge. And then here's oh, this is actually really smooth. The sticks actually feel a little bit stiffer. The buttons feel the same, just bigger. There's the sensor for the mouse. So that means when this comes off, they're color coded. Do they just pop on like this? Oh, they just pop on like that. And then you can, but this is a new experience for me. It's actually really smooth. So this would be the mouse concept, huh? And then to take it off, you hit the magnet button. Oh, it just pops right off. Pop. Let's hear it. Let's hear the snap. So it says right here on the box, I did see a lot of people with the full game download that get kind of like a game card where you scratch it off. This one though, it says right here to download the game from the eShop. So I just need to turn it on. Huge! Like way bigger. Actually cool. So this stand can go pretty much like at any distance. You can go at any distance, which is cool. You can be at any viewing angle. So here's the ROG Ally X. You can see they're about the same. Oh, they are about the same. But you can see that the Nintendo Switch 2 is a lot more thin. Way thinner than the ROG Ally X. So the Steam Deck is still larger than the Nintendo Switch 2. It's not too bad. It's like twice the size of the Nintendo Switch 2. Damn, it sounds pretty good. Whoa. That onboarding soundtrack sounds awesome. They added some other colors to the UI too, like this gradient blue and pink. That's cool. About to download update data. With Nintendo Switch 2, you can play games wherever you want, however you want. The scissors can stand at whatever angle you like. Just pull out the rear stand. Detach the right Joy-Con. hold and release. Huh. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Okay, it's telling me to go handheld mode. I mean desktop mode. Oh, right. So I can attach it to this now. So slides on like this. Whoa. Man, these magnets are strong. Because I still want to carry around my Switch Lite, so I don't really want to transfer anything yet. So let's see. Wait, it says select this option if you don't have a Switch. Don't transfer. Let's add a user. Sign in Nintendo account. Okay, so we can sign in using a QR code. So let's do that. And then it will sign in for me. Yes, that is me. Skip, I don't have an express card. All right. Oh, home. Whoa, that's cool. Okay. I'll wait for that to download. That's put on. Screen protector I got. So we get 2. I just need 1 right now. Push out the air bubbles and there's dust under it. Perfect, right? Okay, stop shaking. Now, let's boot up Mario Kart Worlds. Oh, this is the first Mario Kart game I own. Mario Kart World! Ooh. Oh, you get all the characters right away? Oh, no you don't. Let's see what these are. Whoa, there's more. Let's just do Monty Moe, actually. Yeah. Beep beep. Wait, whoa. Speed bike. I forgot how to play Mario Kart. Man, the screen actually looks really good. So this is at 120 FPS. 120 hertz. That's crazy. How do I use the items? Oh. Whoa. How do I ride on the rails? Oh no. No! How am I second? Damn. Well, that's dope though. Alright, well I'm gonna test this out more. I'm gonna test out some other games and then I'll continue this video. Movie magic. So I had the Nintendo Switch 2 for a couple days now. I got it shipped to me last week on June 6th, and I have a couple things to say about this device. But first, let's go through this again. This is a huge upgrade from the first Nintendo Switch to Nintendo Switch OLED to Nintendo Switch Lite, all the way to Nintendo Switch 2. You could see the significant upgrades. Besides the materials used on Nintendo Switch 2, everything just feels much more premium than the previous models. And the new way of attaching the Joy-Cons, it feels just as satisfying or even more satisfying than the previous rail system. It's just so satisfying to hear this. The face buttons feel exactly the same as the previous models, like on the Nintendo Switch Lite and the Nintendo Switch. The only difference is that it's larger. The sticks do feel more upgraded than the previous one. As a matter of fact, it feels like the only buttons that really change, besides the size changing, are the analog sticks. The SL and SR are a lot bigger. The stand feels premium. It actually feels really nice how it stays at different angles. The only problem for me is that it does look really thin, so it feels like it can snap whenever, but I don't think that's a problem. One of the bigger updates is the software from Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. With the software, there's like a dedicated Nintendo Switch Online button, game chat, news, eShop, album, game share, controllers. Virtual game cards. I do find virtual game cards to be a little bit better because now I can just preload these game cards between my different Switches. In that way, I don't really have to download anything over the internet once I have it preloaded onto specific ones. Only downside to it is that I can't play the same game on 2 different handhelds at the same time. So that might be a problem whenever I'm trying to showcase something. But in terms of using it as an average consumer in your daily life, this is a really good fix to preload it. That way you don't have to rely on connecting to an internet just to get verification on whether the game is actually yours or not. So that's really cool. The Nintendo eShop just works so much faster now. Everything's so snappy. The web pages actually show previews as to what the games are, kind of like thumbnails on YouTube, which is really cool. And if they don't show videos, they show photos, so that's really nice. There's no big delays for loading every game. I can just scroll down endlessly. So the biggest changes from the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2 are the screen and the ergonomics. So since the Nintendo Switch 2 has the same ergonomics as the first one, the only difference is that it's bigger. It's still that flat back, so it does strain your hands a little bit for holding this for a really long time. And because it's heavier, the strain does come on a little bit quicker, especially in your wrist. I do find it helpful if you lay your elbows down to hold the device up. It's a little bit easier, but to get a better experience on playing on the Nintendo Switch 2 a little bit longer would be to just grab some sort of grip case to it. Skull & Co has a case, and I do have other accessories coming in to test try. There's probably going to be a video for different kinds of accessories, so make sure to stop by to check out those other videos. And essentially the screen is just the same as the ROG Ally X with that variable refresh rate, 120 frames per second at 1080p. This one has HDR though, the ROG Ally X doesn't, but that variable refresh rate does make a huge difference. And even though most of the games that you're playing are only at 1080p, you can always upscale it by docking it for 4K, 60 FPS, which you can't really do on the ROG Ally X. So that's a plus for this one. That's pretty much the biggest pro for me, is that software update that leads to faster load times. So the eShop is a huge plus. Now I can go through and see kind of like what the new releases are without actually waiting for anything to get loaded. It takes about like a minute or two, which can get very frustrating if you visit the eShop pretty often. Not only that, but the games that you play and experience, the higher fidelity and also a higher frame rate that you're playing these games at, like Pokemon Scarlet or any of the Pokemon games, it just makes the gaming experience a lot more fun and a lot more enticing to actually stay for longer sessions. Yeah, so besides those points that I've spoken about before, I haven't been able to even touch or see the Nintendo Switch 2 in person before it actually came. So these are my honest first impressions. And to be even more honest, there's not really much to say about the Nintendo Switch 2. It's a new shiny device, it's a new console, it works amazing. The screen looks amazing, and I actually feel a little bit of excitement whenever I'm playing the new Mario Kart Worlds, but that ends around there. The ergonomics are still the same, so it's not much of a big difference from the Nintendo Switch. And with the only Nintendo Switch 2 lineup of games that I'm playing being Mario Kart Worlds, it ends up making the whole experience a little bit anticlimactic. With this bigger system and you're playing these higher end games and these higher fidelity games, the battery life is essentially the same as the Nintendo Switch, maybe drains even faster. We're looking at around like an hour or 2 hours. So I was able to last 2 to 3 hours when I was playing indie games like Katana Zero. When I'm playing Astro Chain or Pokemon Scarlet, we're looking at around 2 hours of gameplay on a full charge. It's not short enough to induce any battery anxiety for me. Essentially, the battery lifespan and the time played on a full charge is very similar to the ROG Ally X or even the Steam Deck when I'm playing those AAA games. So again, it just makes the whole experience a little bit anticlimactic because the experience of playing these games I already have playing on the RG Ally X or even the Steam Deck. With the library of games that I have on Steam being much bigger and much more diverse, it makes getting the RG Ally X and the Steam Deck a little bit more exciting than something like the Nintendo Switch 2. Don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, the Nintendo Switch 2 might not be exciting as of today. Maybe later down the line, with more Nintendo exclusive games coming out, it can make this Nintendo Switch 2 way more enticing and way more exciting for someone like me. Like, I'm still very happy with the Nintendo Switch 2. It is the Switch Pro that everyone's been waiting for, 3 to 8 years. And a lot of the issues that many people had with the Nintendo Switch does get resolved on the Nintendo Switch 2, such as loading times, softwares. It's a lot more powerful than the previous generation. The Joy-Con snapping on does make the device feel more of like a whole unit rather than something that feels much loose and prone to breaking. With an amazing screen, it might be LED instead of OLED, but with the variable refresh rate and 120 frames per second and also 1080p, with 4K when docked, up to 60 frames per second, and better sized Joy-Cons, better loading times, it does make this a very exciting console still. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about the Nintendo Switch 2. Are you guys having the same exact feelings I'm having, where it's a little bit anticlimactic, not exciting as something that I should be, might be a little bit overhyped? And give this video a like and subscribe. Thanks guys, peace.